5,000 staff in our team. And so it's really important that, we leverage off places like WhatsApp, because it allows us to get, I guess, that community feel where, you get that buzz of having, hundreds of people in a building. And even on Fridays, we have beer o'clock all together. And so it kind of gives you get more life and energy. When when you have a team, under 100 people, you kind of need to have, I guess, a bigger community to work with. So yeah, we find WhatsApp is really good.
I think post-COVID, the receptionist there yesterday said that they doubled their inquiry, and people even using their remote office opportunity. So for $140 a month, you could come in and be part of the community and just use the meeting rooms. You don't even want a hot desk. You just want to be near the cafes and around energy, around people. I think as CEOs and leaders, we're the ones that are bringing the energy. And so my question is, what do we have to do to be able to sustain this for 2021? What are some tricks and hints to be able to stay on the forefront of this, post-COVID wave as a leader? Lloyd, what would you suggest would be a habit that you would suggest people start to embody on a daily basis?
I think you need to challenge everything. Whether it's, one of the things that every Tuesday morning, we had a managers meeting, and it was, there was 15, 20 managers would join this meeting. We had to find a meeting room. We had to, someone would arrange the coffee and those sort of things there. And occasionally someone might dial in. When we started to move to work from home and we were using products like Zoom, I collapsed the management structure where I basically said, sorry, guys, this is open to everyone. So we will finish this meeting, and at 8 o'clock, I will join my managers meeting, which will have 350, maybe 400 people in that meeting. You know what? It works well. Everybody is 12 inches away from seeing the screen. Everyone can hear everything. Everyone can use the tools, the chats, the polls, etc. So it really is about challenging those sort of norms inside our business. So some of the executive managers said, "Oh, but maybe the managers aren't going to feel special anymore." It's like, stuff this, guys. We had a meeting of 15 people. They would then go and have a meeting with 20 people, who would then have a meeting with 20 people. It's like, let's just flatten the whole organization. So I think challenging everything you do inside your business, and it's a great opportunity, and it's to be able to look at everything there. And I must admit, I think I'm probably a hobo as well. So I've done the home office as well. With all our managers, we have setups, and if I hit the right button here, I can't show you my outside, but I can show you inside here.
Yes.
Button, can you see me?
Yes, so how you're standing.
All right, so we've got 5 screens set up there, the green screen, I've got my desk, etc. behind it. But
and you got thongs on.
Managers, there we go. And I've got thongs on, yes. This is a better view, isn't it?
I'm glad you're wearing pants.
Yeah, I am wearing pants, thank you. But that's the sort of things where I think you challenge everything. And I've probably got, and in our office, we've got studios now, where I've got I know all of, with Panasonic cameras, and I'm Mr. Sennheiser here in the Philippines now. But they're the sort of things I think where we want to be looking at how we use this to review everything inside your business.
Wow. And so there has been a question that's raised then, Lloyd, when you're maintaining that company culture and your remote workers give you a challenge in terms of not creating that culture, what's some ways you can bring inspiration and transparency to them if they're not bringing that culture?
We do, so there's a couple of things that we do for our remote staff at the moment. One of them is not only working from home, but I now work 24 hours a day. Everything just happens, and with a big push into the US. So, we do things like Saturday morning breakout sessions. Again, we will get 800 or 900 people tuning into a session on Saturday, and we'll give away some iPhones and those sort of things. But we'll have, and it's educational. It's not work. You're not going to hear about occupational health and safety, but you'll get someone who will come on and talk about, public speaking, servant leadership, those sorts of things. Our conferences, our end of year conference, we had the drummer from Pink, a guy called Mark Sherman, came along, and we just stream all this stuff on Facebook and those sorts of things. So they're the sort of, you know, and you do need to embrace that stuff. I've got more couriers than you could possibly imagine, and we do perks boxes. Normally at the work, you get your tea and your coffee and your beer on Friday. We now have these little boxes that we pack up and send out to people with all their sort of stuff inside it. But you do have to keep thinking about how do you get in front of people's faces and those sorts of things.
So do you have a set budget for culture? Do you say a percentage of your turnover for culture and for those like perk boxes?
Absolutely. In
Right.
fact, it's in my shareholders agreement. So when we bought our investment on, and in fact, when we did our first investment, I made sure that what we call the retention fund, which it's part of our fee that we bill the customers every month, and it's about $15 a month per employee, but that's locked away in my shareholders agreement, and so that's where we've actually been. That's how we fund all these sort of things out of it.
I think that is fabulous. Well, Joanne, thank you for that question, because that was excellent. We're about 5 minutes out, and we want to value everybody's time, and so it's really important that we stick to time. But I think we've got one last question at the end, so stay on because we want to hear what is the one word the CEO of the future needs to be considering. I want you each to consider that for yourself. What is your one word? But we certainly want to hear from our guests. But we're going to pop into the chat the actual booking for next week, because what we're wanting over this 6 weeks is we're going to be including much more question time with the top 18 CEOs. And I think we've got an idea today, the caliber of availability and transparency that you can ask these questions with. And I encourage you to bring your team onto this call. How can you use and leverage this opportunity over 6 weeks to really build momentum in 2021? So we've got Mark Wee-Way from Patterson Glass, who's joined us here today. Mark's worked in non-profit and for-profit, but specialising in strategic planning and organisational development. So it's a real culture expertise of Mark. So, you know, think of all your culture questions again for next week. We've also got Desley Taylor. It's good to have some females here. Desley is ranked one of the top brokers in Australia, and certainly in the finance sector, there's only 11% of females represented in that area, and she's taken out Broker of the Year 3 years running. We also have Adam Gallagher, CEO for Constellation Technologies. He's got 2 decades of experience across technology, debt and equity markets as a business owner, an executive, a consultant, and he's passionate about digital transformation. So what do you need to put in place at the beginning of this year to be able to maximise the coming opportunities that we've discussed today? So I would love to thank also our sponsors. As I said, this couldn't happen without KPMG. Here we are sitting in their offices. We've had Minter Ellison, Bond University, Coco Matrix, and, you know, definitely for Lloyd, thank you for the time that you've taken to get up early. You didn't have to put shoes on. We didn't need you in shoes. We just needed you present, and the timing in the Philippines, it's very early in the morning, but we're very grateful for your time and your contribution. Michael Sherlock, amazing. You are relevant in this world, and thank you for being relevant and adding your expertise this morning. If anyone's got any extra questions, pop them in the chat and we'll be sure to connect. But connect on LinkedIn. This is an opportunity for us all to create a community. And Mark, it's so exciting to see your architectural dreams come true. You know, with a 6-week-old baby and no sleep last night, I'm really grateful that you made the time to join us, and wish you all the best in this next capital raising that you're doing.
Thank you.
So our last question, what is the one word that would sum up the CEO of the future? Mark, what's your word?
I would say it would have to be agile. I think on the back of last year, it probably just brought it to the forefront, the importance of being agile. You know, you can have a game plan, you can have a strategy, but then things like COVID can hit, and that whole game plan and strategy can go out the window, and you have to remain agile. And those leaders who, you know, kind of are rigid and aren't willing to be agile with the ones that don't succeed, and those that can be dynamic, agile, respond to situations like that effectively, and seize opportunities that come out the back of it will be the most successful.
Great word. Fabulous. Michael, what's your word?
Empathy. Understand the people that work for you. I work with a thing called owner's eye. So I try and find people that work for you that demonstrate the owner's eye. So they're the people that want to go that little bit further in order to, they treat the business like it was their own. So if they're making a decision, what would they do if it was their own money? So you identify those people, and that's what franchising really, because that highlights the owner's eye, which was my background. So you need to identify those people and and nurture them, and then identify the people that aren't happy at work, that aren't contributing to the culture, and encourage them to find something that they're passionate about and work there.
Encourage them to move on. Growth meeting comfort. We're not going to get on. Empathy, great word. Lloyd, what would you sum up the CEO of the future?
I think visibility. You've got to make yourself available to staff, and you've got to figure out how do you amplify your persona, I suppose. You can't sit there and just hide behind managers and those sort of things. So I think that's after I do my all hub meeting, I then roll into that new hire meeting, and every new hire that comes into the company does our training, and I say hello to them. So I think you've got to see to be visible inside inside your organization in the future.
I think they're fabulous. Being agile with empathy and visibility is going to be quite the event for 2021. And I encourage you all to connect. I think that, following these great leaders, Lloyd, Michael, and Mark, we're going to learn so much from you in 2021. And thank you for leading the way for all of us. And congratulations on all your success. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, have a wonderful day, everyone, and we'll meet back here next week. And you'll be hearing from Mark, you'll be hearing from Desley and Adam, and so have your questions ready. Thanks so much.